Try this recipe for lamb pulao, or I like to call it brown chawal. It is a little bit techy, but I'm going to try and simplify it for you. Start by prepping these spices and ginger and garlic and add it to your washed meat. Make sure you wash your meat thoroughly. Once you've had your spices, let that boil on a medium heat for about an hour and a half till the meat is a bit tender. When the broth is done, take it off the heat and fish out the spices. In a separate pan, heat up some oil and add some diced onions. I'll leave the measurements below. You want to cook these onions till they've browned like this, and then add a dash of boiling water to soften the onions. Take the meat from the broth and add that to your onion mixture, but keep the broth because we're going to use this. On a medium heat, cook the meat for about 15 minutes. You don't want to overcook it, and add coriander powder and garam masala. Whilst your meat's cooking, run your broth through a sieve so that all the extra spices are gone. You should be left with something like this. You can just get rid of those spices. Now this is the tricky bit. For the amount of rice you're using is going to account for how much broth you put in. So because I've done 6 cups of rice, I'm adding 10 cups of broth. For a smaller portion like 2 cups of rice, I'd add about 3 cups of broth. Let that come to a boil, and this is where you taste it. Bear in mind that it needs to be a bit saltier than normal. Add your washed and soaked rice, gently mix it, and let that simmer until most of the water's gone. Then put foil on top of your dish with the lid on and let that steam for 30 minutes on the lowest heat. After 30 minutes, your rice is done. Try this recipe and let me know how it goes.